1, 2, 3, 4.
A great one is Red Tails, where George Lucas is like got this weird concept of like, hey, like, George, what's the thing that made you, like, what inspired Star Wars? And instead of just being straightforward with like, well, I was like a weird kid and I read a lot of sci-fi and ripped off Kurosawa, like instead of him being honest, he's just like, well, I was very inspired by the 1950 serials that they used to make. Like he's talking about like all the old dog fighting, like World War II movies with like planes and like bombers and stuff like that. And he said that
My
was
fat ass thought you literally meant like
dog fighting.
No, like cereal.
Oh yeah, like
oh my god, dude,
delicious.
Some fucking Count Chocula or something.
Yeah, dude.
They got space cereal and shit, dude.
Fucking
Count Alien Chocula.
Frankenberry.
That's where my mind went. Just,
No, it's understandable.
Blueberry, dude.
It took him like saying that like 10 fucking times before I realized like, oh, he's not talking about like cartoons. He's talking about like movies, but like series of movies from the 50s that were like made for TV. Stop doing that, dipshit. Hey, down.
She's
Knock
gonna
it
figure
off.
out how to open it one day.
She is.
Tear my ass up.
Nah, she's not gonna fucking bite you. She just wants to come out here and lay in the sun, but she keeps eating sticks, and that's the biggest problem. I'm like not trying to fish a fucking log out of my dog's log.
Yeah.
But anyways, the fucking he made Red Tails, and they were like asking him like why he made Red Tails. He's like, I just making things that I like, and like, well, this is a fucking disaster, man. Nobody saw this movie. It makes no sense.
What is Red Tails?
It was about the
I've never heard of it.
It's about the Tuskegee Airmen, and
Not a fun topic.
well, no, not the Tuskegee experiments. The Tuskegee Airmen. They're great. They're a very inspiring story.
I thought they did experiments on the airmen.
Didn't
like all the pilots get syphilis or something? They blame the government, but they was just at the fucking brothel near the base.
Fairly certain that the Tuskegee experiments were done in like Oklahoma or something, and the Tuskegee Airmen were the fighter pilots in World War II.
I thought Tuskegee was like the base.
I think
stateside.
it's like a name of a town, and there might be a military base and a college there and whatnot. But the Tuskegee Airmen, I think, were just several black men from fucking all over the country that just went by that moniker.
I thought they were from the Tuskegee base.
I think
I thought like the Tuskegee Airmen trained at Tuskegee, kind of like Currahee and whatever the fuck. Like I thought they incorporated that into their name.
Let's look this up
for that reason. I also thought that during like this is how retarded I am. I thought that the experiments were done like during their training while they were still on base, and then they were like, "All right, we learned what we need to know. Now go fight." I thought they literally just gave a bunch of black fighter pilots syphilis.
No, you're good. They did train at the Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama. It was Alabama, not Oklahoma. They served with distinction and helped pave the way for a desegregation of the military. Key facts about the Tuskegee.
Boring.
First African American pilots. They were the first African American pilots in the U.S. military trained at Tuskegee Army Airfield. World War II service. They served in World War II flying combat missions in North Africa, and Europe, and primarily as bomber escorts. Segregation. Their training and service occurred during a time of deep racial segregation in the U.S. and military and society.
Him in fucking Alabama.
Red Tails, which is where the movie gets its name. They were nicknamed Red Tails for the distinctive red tails on their P-51 Mustang fighter planes. Combat record. 332nd Fighter Group, which included the Tuskegee Airmen, had the lowest loss record of all bomber escort groups in the war. However, I do believe, if I remember correctly, it is because they were flying very low risk sorties towards the end of the war. But I don't want to admonish from
That's
veterans.
like shitting on the second team for scoring a touchdown.
I'm not going to. I do believe that is how the narrative went.
You also wouldn't say the second team was the greatest running back of all time.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you're not winning any Heisman.
You guys did well. You give you your props, but like, let's settle down.
The bench was plenty warm.
You're no easy company. Like, let's
let's be real. Were you at Iwo Jima? Probably had a great view from the sky. But no, yeah, the Tuskegee, he made a movie about the Tuskegee Airmen that nobody saw. It was like a $30 million budget. It barely, I think it broke even. Like
But the Tuskegee experiments are not related to those guys.
Those were at some university in Alabama where they just were giving black men syphilis and then turning them loose.
I thought they were directly related.
I don't think so.
I was like,
'Cause they might have been flying with some syphilis.
I think I just heard Tuskegee Airmen when I was younger, and then I heard about the Tuskegee experiments. I'm like, that's fucked up what they did to those pilots.
those are American heroes.
I literally, like, I'm not kidding.
Let's look up the Tuskegee experiments.
What if I'm right and you're just
that?
like,
That would be fucking great. Tuskegee.
They gave the Navajo code talkers herpes.
Were
What did they stand to
Tuskegee
learn by giving syphilis?
in the
Like, hearing it out loud sounds so dumb, but it made sense in my head.
No, the Tuskegee Airmen are not.
So I'm not the first person to
The
ask.
Tuskegee AI got to it. Tuskegee experience. Any black man or woman, military, civilian, black or white,
Sound like a band name, dude.
yeah, it does, but I don't think that's the same. Okay, so here you go. I'll give you partial credit here. Yes, the Tuskegee Airmen were trained at Tuskegee University, so they were at the scene of the crime, as is common with most.
But they experimented on other black people. Was it during the same time period, or were the,
That's a good question. Tuskegee, so the syphilis study, that was done from 32 to 72, so that was a broader window. So it was going on while they were there.
40 years just given
No connection.
given syphilis?
Just giving
Wrong beep.
giving syphilis.
Which one did I hit?
The car crash.
Ah, I thought B was the beep. Which one's the beep now?
A.
Okay. Yeah, that's got to be the primary.
C is boring.
This is going great. Boring.
I was going for the beep.
Boring.
So they were given a bunch of syphilis for 40 years?
40 years, yeah. The participants were never informed of their condition or given effective treatment after a bout of
Damn, my dick burning, cuz. We skipped NASCAR last week. I forget what happened. Hamlin won. Forget where they were. Martinsville. Last week, I don't know if Joe had it in. Trucks. I don't fucking remember who won. A lot of heat online for Larson because he was 160 laps down and he caused the caution with 3 laps to go. Ripping an all but guaranteed win away from Blaney. I was very conflicted. My 2 favorite drivers are Blaney and Hamlin, and Blaney gets robbed from a win this Sunday and Hamlin steals a win because of it. So I was like, I want to be mad, but at least anyone. I don't know.
Not to completely shift gears out of
Please do.
but did you by any chance catch Schwarber hitting 2 record-breaking home runs
No.
in 2 days or 3 days?
You sent me something about baseball, and I was like, this is how Joe feels about NASCAR.
No, it's they completely.
You got there was some home run, and you're like, that thing was fucking gone,
Dude,
And it's just
they're taking way more analytics on the fucking ball exit velocity now. So it's like when he hits hard, and it's just neat that they're giving you that statistic. So usually it's the distance is neat. It's okay, he hit a ball
they
444
do the
feet. Yeah,
video game thing. Where it's like,
woo.
I like when you do that golf too.
Yeah. But yeah, they were showing the fucking and this thing was a fucking just laser beam out of the fucking stadium into the upper deck in fucking Citizens Bank Park, and I'm like, all right, that's pretty fucking cool. And then they showed the exit velocity was 118 miles per hour, and I'm like, holy fucking
That's cool.
shit. Then yesterday he hits one 456 feet at the same exit velocity, but I'm like, god damn. So your thing now, Joe's hot tip of the week, Joe's sports betting tip of the week is they changed the shape of the bats. It's in baseball, and
The Yankees started that, correct?
Yes, they did.
They moved some of the wood down from the tip to the part of the bat or something.
It's
I
stupid.
forget the actual phrasing. I heard a segment about this though.
Yeah, so the allegation was Jazz Chisholm during the playoffs last year, nobody noticed him using a bat that had more of a softball bat dynamic to it, meaning it's flatter and broader, but kind of like a cricket bat, but it still has the concavities where it's formed to have aerodynamics to swing through, broader towards the top, skinny in the middle and then a little bit like middle
They
sized.
alter that now because isn't it a little broader in the middle?
Yeah,
and
so
skinnier at the top.
so some MIT dork wrote Jazz Chisholm in the off season like 2 years ago and was like, here's this bat I made, try it. And because
is it legal?
it is legal. It's technically in the legal, like within the legalities, because they publish the rules every year, and they didn't make any bat alterations to the rules this year. So as long as it is a certain circumference at the biggest and a certain circumference at the smallest, and it doesn't have any fucking like no corking or whatever, you're good. And this MIT dork figured that out, sent one to Jazz, and he had like a remarkable postseason despite the Yankees not winning. But then like kind of people were like, hey, what was that bat you were using? Because you don't normally go fucking 4 for 5 in a high pressure situation. You're kind of a dummy. And yeah, he spilled the beans, and then a bunch of people got them made, and now they're all over the league, and you can actually place prop bets on people using these bats. So Alec Boehm in the Phillies, if he hits a home run, I think you get like 6-1 odds, but you gotta place the bet on it, obviously. But
Is it better odds if they don't use the bat?
I think it's
thought
just I think it's just a player prop. It's just they know who's using them now. But yeah, there's a couple. They're all
What
over
are
the
they
place.
calling the bat?
Torpedoes, fucking blimps. Like there's a few other
Is
names.
there an actual phrasing for it? Like
Nah, they're just so the new one. that
next gen bat?
they're no next gen. They're like they're not like NASCARs. Like they're just like the traditional shape, and then they're probably gonna call it like a modified shape. Because the other thing too, at least like NASCAR, I will give you guys this. That fucking the
casual fan.
The verbiage. You are the fucking representative of this. As far you're the CEO of
Like-
NASCAR, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Dressed the way you're fucking dressed.
I was looking at my clothes when I went to get dressed, and like all my T-shirts are NASCAR shirts, and I was like,
You might have a point.
I just get interested in topics and dork out on them heavily, and then
It happens.
Like with hockey, I have like tons of Flyer shirts from when I was watching them every day a few years ago, and now I'm just anyway.
I like how it's vicariously bleeding into me too, because I buy you shirts for things that I like.
Yeah,
Just
that's
'cause I'm like, yeah, like that's fun.
Yeah.
Went to the poker room.
It was
thanks,
like a
guy.
nice shirt.
Yeah, fucking great gift. No, NASCAR has like cool verbiage for like the next gen cars or
Next
like
gen's
the.
gay.
I like that as opposed to like fucking baseball, where everything they're trying to still sound sophisticated in the 19 teens, where it's like sub rule Article 6, Section 14-2. You cannot spit on the ball anymore. Like it's all fucking semantics. It's all legalese. It's because
It's the same in NASCAR though.
it's so stupid.
Guys get dinged for like the littlest of infractions, like on technical inspections and stuff like that. Like there's definitely a ton of legalese in NASCAR as well. I don't like the gimmicky names because the one before this I think was just called Gen 6. I'm fine with that. The one when I was a kid was Gen 4. Like I'm fine with just like Gen and a number. That's fine.
She's a good lady.
But Gen 5 they called the COT or the Car of Tomorrow. It's just
That's
like,
okay.
yeah,
You lost me.
Car of Tomorrow. And it had a big spoiler on it like it was a fucking rice mobile. Yeah. Like I just don't like that. And
Really
then
trying to get
I
the
feel like
Puerto Rican
next
demographic interested.
Next Gen is like it was in the Fast and Furious era for sure. Sorry. Next Gen is like a softer version of that where it's like,
Gotcha.
oh, it's the next gen. Like just call it Gen 7. Like this doesn't have to be this. Anyway,
They call like modern baseball, like it's just they call it like the modern era with like the very severe rule changes. Like there was also like an era called like the purist era or something like that, where it's like post World War II, where like a lot of the fucking dudes were just like, I make no money doing this. This is my job. I live on a fucking
I
farm.
play ball.
And I fucking I fought in World War II, and I came home, and now I work on a farm 5 months of the year, and then the rest of it I travel with this shitty baseball team and make $200 a month, and that's my life. That's my existence. 60 years
for the
of
love
that.
of the game, baby.
Yeah, and like that was like there's like a very pure element to it back then. Now it's like all fucking corporatized, and like there's instant replay. You can challenge balls and strikes. It's like it's the different beast, but there's no cool names for it. It's just like I said, it's like even like cool. There's like a cool rule that I really
I didn't
do.
even think a cool name. I just meant like a technical name. Like, you know how there's wood hockey sticks and now they have the composite composite hockey stick.
yeah.
I didn't know if there was like a model name like the old
they're
Louisville Slugger. This is the Louisville Tugger. I don't
Yeah, I'll put that. That's the name of this episode, the Louisville Tugger. Shaped like a tugboat.
Just riffing, babe.
Every time.
Torpedo's kind of cool.
I like the name Torpedo.
Kind of looks like it.
It does look
It looks
like
weird. It looks wonky.
There's one. Apparently, there's like this guy that used to hit with a fucking. It was like a cane-shaped bat because it like technically did. It just got to be straight, but like
Like a candy cane.
yeah, no, exactly. Okay, fatso.
No, like one of those decoration ones just shaped like that.
You know, like a hiking stick, how like someone will just like whittle a piece of wood down to like smooth, but it's like all like fucking jointy and whatnot. Yeah, like it looks like that. That was like some guy's bat, and like
Just got a stick.
just got a fucking stick. Just got like a.
I
barrel
remember
of a
the
tree.
corking era. Like I
Sammy
was
Sosa. And,
Yeah, that,
fucking
like-
Mark McGuire.
I wasn't like huge into baseball, but I just remember it was like the Barry Bonds, the home run race. I remember like going to Phillies and surf games with my grandpa at the time. Like, not a super fan, but I do remember watching baseball games, and like every now and then you just see like a bat go flying across, and the ump comes over and look at it, and it's like, it's fucking.
Is this
nuts.
gonna be it?
It was like semi-common back then.
Well-
like as if someone like me who was watching 10 games a season was seeing it, like it had to be
Yeah,
fairly common.
So like, here's the thing. This is where the minutia of baseball gets fun because like I know like this is where I like NASCAR. Like one of the things about NASCAR is when you started telling me about how they used to like hide weights during the fucking weigh-ins and stuff like.
I
all
love
right,
shit like
that's
that.
my wheelhouse. Like I'm like okay cool. So like when they introduced like like you could make your own it wasn't like make your own bat, but it was like Louisville Slugger would have models of bats that like, you know, like this is like all the way back in like the 60s and shit like that, but it would be like, you know, the fucking Tug McGraw my Louisville Slugger is a Pat Burrell, like, you know, so
Same with like hockey sticks. They got the Patrick
Ovechkin.
Kane curve.
Yeah.
The Naslin.
Yeah, so like there's always like a niche market for like that, you know, like someone's gonna buy it just purely on brand name and the player and
The
whatnot.
Jordan shoes, the Iversons, the Shaqs. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always like some kind. So like I think that what it was that they would send you a batch of these bats, and you have some that you're gonna use in a game, which are like MLB fucking logo on everything. Fucking like if it breaks, you give it to a fucking fan. The fan's gonna know like, you know, not only whose bat it is, but that it's like an official piece of like MLB, you know, memorabilia.
Yeah.
Just it's like branded in that
There's
way.
only they don't make them for like consumer purchase. This is like a
yeah.
unique item, kind
Just
of.
like the hockey pucks.
Yeah.
Like how it's like a game official hockey puck. It's distinct from like a practice puck. But they make practice pucks, and they are in their own right valuable for whatever intrinsic, maybe like 'cause
BP balls.
Yeah, so they have BP bats too. And Tyler was the shout out Kasach. Love you,
Shout out
buddy.
to my buddy who came
buddy.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Kasach was the one that told me that Sammy Sosa used to be the guy that they would, and I don't know like how true this is because from what I understand, they have like now like facilities where they do this, but like a way of them, like let's say I have a prototype for a bat where it's like we took 2 ounces off of it because we think your swing velocity would, with a lighter bat, you'd have a better exit velocity on your ball or whatever. So they like give them a batch of like 3 bats to try during batting practice. So Kasach's theory was that because Sammy Sosa was in the home run race during the time or whatever, or like just out of the home run race, and he was getting all these bats from like Louisville and like all the fucking brand deals and shit, there's a good chance that he might have broken a bat and someone would have handed him a bat out of his rack that was a BP bat that was corked, but not because they wanted it to be a cheat. They just were like, hey, we want to see how this reacts when we're going to do experiments on it. And this is one of the ways is like we uncork it, we cork it, we give you like a melange of these bats, and then you give us data back on it. Or like
But they accidentally gave him one in a game.
and that was the theory. That was like one of the prevailing theories. And like so much so that Kasach was like staunch on that. He's like, yeah, he would never cheat. He was a good American, like even though he's a Cuban. Like,
Meanwhile, he was just like abusing steroids
Oh,
like
yeah,
crazy. He was for sure cheating.
he
Shut the fuck
took
up.
so many steroids he turned white. That's how fucking.
Yeah, Darryl Waltrip didn't mean to put nitrous in his car. Like it was just
Nah, it
like
just happened.
it was just a practice
It
car.
was huffing it.
They left the practice motor in, dude. They were just running some experiments. And
Is that a real thing? A practice motor?
back in the day, they used to have qualifying motors and race motors. And I'm sure they had different motors for testing and stuff like that. But
Okay.
now it's totally regulated. They only get a certain allotment of motors per year. They have to use each motor for like 2 or 3 races or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But before it was like open season, they would change motors
Mid
often.
race.
No, that was like a penalty. But before a race, you could change your motor. Now you start at the back if you have to change your motor or something like that.
Shit.
But yeah, before they were like, if they had any doubt about their motor, they were putting a new one in like right before. I don't know. There's all kinds of stories, like especially back in the olden days, they were like staying in motels and shit. The smaller teams, and it's just like, guys, there was a video of like Michael Waltrip's motor blew up during qualifying or something, and then like staying in some janky motel, and it was like the whole engineering team, which was the guys in like jeans and t-shirts, and they were like in a motel room like rebuilding a fucking motor on a stand, like in some like Florida motel room that's got like the pink coral walls and like the old shitty like 80s like design, and they're just like, yeah, installing a motor in a fucking race car in a Motel 6 parking lot.
Sweet.
Like, yeah.
Now that's my kind of shit right there.
But yeah, it's totally streamlined, and like, I don't know, Joe Gibbs Racing got dinged, or Toyota got dinged. Denny got fucked last season because like the motors have to be like sealed and like sent back to NASCAR, and like apparently Toyota like opened one up or something for research before NASCAR had looked at it. It's like literally it's so like technical and like
it does seem kind of
yeah.
But
it was more fun back in the day when it was just like it's just a bunch of rednecks. Like
I was gonna say, it seems like a cowboy sport. You would kind of want like a little bit of the gung ho-ness, like that does.
It's just
have a bit of
totally.
the
There's
feel.
so much money involved now.
Yeah,
where it's like fully corporatized. Where it's not just like. It started out as just like short track, like kind of a grassroots thing, and became like this whole. And then
I was gonna say, did you end up watching that thing I sent you yesterday, the Channel 5 documentary on the dog racing? Because it's like
No.
it's kind of the opposite of that. I didn't even plan.
I didn't know there was only one track left. I
It's
thought
two
it was,
tracks. It's one state though. It's like they've completely eradicated it to just West Virginia, which is like fucking gay.
I thought they were still big in Florida. Sorry.
No, you're good. They have tracks, but they're just kennel clubs now. They're not. They don't race dogs. They simulcast, but they don't race dogs like on location.
It's a simulcast.
So, like,
they,
they
like just stream from the two tracks that do race?
and you can bet on them in a kennel club in Florida, but there's no dog racing on
Do
premises.
they have dogs there? Like,
No,
what the fuck?
it's just they used to be dog tracks, so they call them kennel clubs. But it's like that you
So
go
what do
there.
they do with the track? Just make it a parking lot?
Yeah, like so the one.
It's like an off-track betting type thing.
Mm-hmm. So what I went to, the one that you have the shirt from, is called what the fuck? Bonita Springs Card Club. It used to be the Bonita Springs Dog Track, and the dog track is now an athletic development center with like a driving range and like a baseball like batting cage.
It's definitely not bringing money in like the dogs were.
No, dude, they have High Ally simulcasting, and High Ally down there is like, because they're the only place that does it, and that's like left over from the Whitey Bulger shit.
Yeah.
I know you were going there. I was gonna let
I was
you.
gonna say not just Whitey
Yeah.
Bulger, but that was like a mob.
Yeah, that was a big Midwest mob influence thing because they were like they didn't know.
Highlights gonna be the next fucking baseball,
Dude, it's like it's huge
It
down
never
there.
really like took
It's
nationwide. Anyway.
well, it's just that it's like such a niche sport for where it exists.
It was
down
still there was still traces of that in the 90s. I remember like my grandpa not like watching it regularly, but I remember seeing Highlight on TV. Not like an actual game, but like maybe like a fucking PBS segment on it or something. Like I remember Highlight being like this cool niche.
It was
Like it was like pre-lacrosse, but it was like this
Yeah.
fucking this might take off. It just didn't. It looks really cool.
when we used to go to the casino, because I don't know if you remember, like Showboat had that bowling alley in it.
I never went to it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, it was a lot of my birthday party because grandma was playing blackjack. So she's like, I don't want to be too
I
far
got
from the
comps.
sands. I don't want to be too far from the sands. We're staying at Showboat. Joey's gonna have his birthday party, and then I'm going right back to the table. But yeah, Auntie Lorfus, shout out. Yeah, grandma would put us up and whatnot. We'd have my birthday there. But I remember there always being fucking High Ally on at, like those places. But was only because there would be bookies. You couldn't bet on it. It would just be on because there'd be bookies buzzing around, and that was like, dude,
Back when the world was fun.
Bro, I got into it yesterday so much because I was walking around Tropicana with Ian and we were reminiscing about like how AC used to be. Like, 'cause it all started with like he was just looking for one of the slot machines his dad used to play, and we found one, stinking rich, in the basement of the Tropicana, fucking great machine. Used to hang out down there with Mr. Borgo. But we were like talking about like Atlantic City, how like it's gone through this metamorphosis of like now like it used to just be kind of consistently grungy but fun, and now it's like you have the high end and you have the extreme low end, and it's like the polarity.
The
of that.
$25 tables and the $5 tables
You
at
have,
Mountain Bar.
you have like Mountain Bar, and then you have like resorts, and then you have like Bally's got a facelift, but it's still a shithole. Like it there, and then like Harrah's, and it's like
Bally's is like a cigarette butt personified. I used to think it was nice. It was nice. In '99,
I used to think it was nice too.
it was.
It was. And it was like in the Claridge, you might
It's
as well
weathered,
not even,
though.
but you might as well not have even gone into the Claridge, because it's like you need a collared shirt to get in there. They don't like kids in the Claridge. And now
Claridge
it's
is like spooky now.
and now it's like a fucking haunted house.
It's not
There's
it.
a lot of there.
What's the one we saw the shows at?
Yeah, that was a Claridge.
Yeah, that one's rough.
Dude.
I went into the Ritz, just the lobby. I delivered a grocery order there, and that looked
a little rough, a
Just-
little rough around the edges.
old.
Yeah.
Not updated,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. But I don't know. It didn't look like Nucky Johnson's house to me. It just looked like a dusty fart.
It did look.
Didn't
like
look like the Ritz. Looked like the Rots, dude. That was not funny. That was not.
I loved
not-
it. That
no.
was good. That was good.
Stupid.
That was good.
Boring.
That's not. I said that. I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. Get it? It's rotting.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's not a joke. A lot of those there. The
And we're back.
like it's funny that like we have like the intimate history of like Atlantic City, like growing up and going there and it being like, then you turn.
I had like a fascination with it.
I always have been like
I'm
from
not
the time
anymore.
I was.
I'm like disenchanted with Atlantic City.
I know you are, but
enjoy
you've grown
going.
Up, you've grown up though, like, and I'm still a kid. Yeah.
Not just Atlantic City, but something about like city life seemed cool as a kid, and then like you get older and you're like, I kind of, as a kid, I was like Petersburg, Tucko, Upper. It's boring.
I'm gonna make it out of here, Ma. I'm gonna ride out of town on my
I didn't want to go live in the
skateboard.
city, but it's just like this like I don't know. Thought Atlantic City and like Philly and stuff was really cool, and now I'm like,
Shh.
I don't know. It was rough then too, but you're just like 5 or whatever, and you're like the big city, man.
Well,
like I think I was gonna say in the 90s, Atlantic City was like a legit resort. Like it. Like
It
remember
still
when
is.
it is. No, but I'm saying like compared to now, like back then, like all of the different things, like the boardwalk, like.
Okay,
I'm mainly basing this off
yes.
of we used to have a WB store.
Yeah,
and
like
we used to have a proper country.
But those don't exist anymore in general, and it's like
But
you can't.
there was a
call
big
it
Bugs Bunny thing on the wall, and it was cool.
You and the nostalgia, because it's like that's the exact thing. I was like, I got on this like a
Well,
couple
no,
weeks ago.
there
but-
was more. I know Atlantic City's still a legitimate resort, but it's
Yeah.
like kind of a fucking shithole. But I'm saying in the 90s when things were still booming, like
But okay, so here's the thing that like, because there's like been a lot of YouTube haters, and I tried to like address this like a couple of weeks ago.
There
on here,
is
but there's
a lot of-
of fucking YouTube haters.
come look at the decay of Atlantic
Yeah,
City.
it's a lot of YouTube haters, and they're being very selective with what
There
they're
have been
showing.
2 properties that have come in that are like
That are-
completely viable and
that
very
are-
nice. Hard Rock and Oceans.
Not only that, they have the right sandwich in between the two of them. They just opened up that fucking water park, and then they dumped like $8 million. It's fucking like that in its own is reviving that part
The Lucky
of.
Snake's pretty fun.
Dude, Showboat doesn't need to have a casino. It's like doing well on its own. I'm not saying it's a great place to stay. I'm saying that if you're gonna go do something with kids
Some
for a
weird
day,
characters hanging out.
Yeah.
Where you smoke darts right outside the door on the boardwalk. See some fucking. Don't bring the kids.
yeah, I was gonna say we
Go
saw
out the side door.
see quite a few hookers like while milling them
Not
out
good
of there.
ones, though.
No, just black, fucking wearing like the fucking mesh.
That's not why
neon
they're
tape.
bad.
It's-
Jesus, Joey.
He's fat.
Just black. Most of them are there. I'm saying. No, I've seen not even hookers, just like really like
Skanky women, like
just junkies. Like,
Yeah.
they don't even have to be women. Like I've just seen some really
scuzzy,
gnarly
characters.
looking characters hanging out outside ripping butts. I don't know if it's because they're homeless and they can just walk around the arcade and like hang out and get warm, but like
Probably.
it looked just like the crowd that was staying in that hotel. It was just like
Yeah.
a lot of Puerto Ricans or something.
A lot of Puerto Ricans.
Puerto Rico. But nah, I'm just fucking around. But nah, it was just a rough looking crowd out there. It gets that way at Bally's too sometimes.
Bally's is almost like that, man.
I think it's just Atlantic City.
No, it's like because like you see it more like I don't know. When we were younger, it's like you don't have the money to go to nicer places, and now I'm older, and like yesterday was like this weird walk down memory lane where it's like we did all the stuff that we would have done when we were like 22, 23 years old, but now I'm like I'm gonna go to the high limit room because I know that like I can drop. Like we went to the high limit room. I dropped $200 playing the fucking wrong denomination of a slot machine, and I'm like, this would have killed me a decade ago. I would have been chewing through the fucking side of my mouth for days over
ruined
this.
your weekend, yeah.
And I was like, my tier score just went up like 58 points, and that's all I really needed to do to get parking today. So I'm good. And like
$200 parking.
Even
could
like
have paid the $10 on a weeknight.
dude, I ate so much fucking food yesterday. It was like I $200 was like I would have tipped somebody to eat. I ate everything. We went to 2 food shows, and I was like, I shat a fucking brick this morning. It was a straight up cinder block. It hurt.
My son shat a fucking cigar the other day. It was the most insane thing. It was like a spiritual experience, dude. No, the other one. Stefan,
yeah,
dude.
Steph's lighting heavies now,
He didn't poop for like 2 days.
Good for him.
And then I was changing him, and he was like crying. It was just a wet diaper. And then this thing started crowning. And I was like, holy shit. And like, it was so long. It broke in half when I showed Tina. So it was like, didn't do it justice. But like, dude, it had to be like this long. Like, it just kept, it was
growing
like
a tail.
And it's in, I'm holding an open diaper, and I'm just watching it like fall into this diaper and then break in half. But yeah, it was like a magic trick. And it got like stuck at one point. I'm pushing his legs up, then it keeps coming, and yeah, it looked like a custard machine, dude. But it was like a log, like it was not soft serve, like it was just. It looked like a fucking big dog shit when it broke in half. Like it looked like a cigar. Like it was like just a miss. It was a torpedo bat,
Smoking
dude.
a pancake.
And he was miserable before it, and then like the whole rest of the night, he was just like, he was so happy.
Feeling it, man.
He just took a giant shit. Yeah, that was gnarly. He was screaming. I'm like, I cannot imagine. Like, he's not even 1 year old yet. And
he's taking man bumps.
That thing was demon, dude. It looked like a fucking acid vanilla. Like I don't know if you know about cigars, but it's just like
man. I love cigars.
Looks like a fucking.
Want to do cigars on the pod one of these days?
Not really.
Not a cigar fan.
I mean, I will for shots and goggles, but like I don't really enjoy cigars.
I genuinely do enjoy a cigar. I really enjoy a cigar.
I'm a cig smoker.
Dick smoker.
Pole smoker.
Pole sitter.
So it's weird to me to smoke something that I'm not inhaling. Like I used to smoke Black and Milds and inhale. People be like, you're not supposed to inhale those. I'm like,
let's be real.
I had some buddies in high school that were big into cigars. They would go, I think the tobacco age back then was 19.
Yeah.
And they would go to like
18 when I turned 18, I got grandfathered in. So I could buy cigars in Pennsylvania at 18, but then it went nationwide to 19 when I turned 19. And then it went to 21.
This kid was your grade, but he was like super young for his grade, so he had to wait till 19. Anyway, I was like 16 and I could go hang out in the cigar thing with them, but I couldn't smoke. But we would just go like hang out in these cigar places. It was all right. It wasn't terrible. Honestly, the one in Northfield on Tilton Road, it was like Cigars or something like that. It was fun. They would play like The Godfather and just be a bunch of old fat dudes sitting around. But my thing was not inhaling on it. And then they would like get me some and like we would smoke them afterwards or whatever. I smoked a cigar after the Flyers beat the Bruins and coming back from 3-0. After Game 7, we smoked cigars. But I would find myself trying to like inhale on it and then like dying. And the times I smoked a cigar and like did it right and didn't inhale, like I would get like a sore throat and it was just like a dry mouth. And it's like, I'm not getting that satisfaction of the throat, like of like the throat snap when you inhale. Like it's like.
You also don't drink, so it's like, it's like.
I was drinking then though.
Time, but like you're not like a.
I just found myself at that time, I'm like, I enjoy a cigarette more. Like I find this to be pointless. Like you smoke your cigar, I'll smoke 2 butts and we'll be fucking. So like, fine, like
cigars for me, it's like you gotta have like the right
a glass of scotch with a fucking.
So, I'm not a huge fan of scotch with a cigar, although I know that like a lot of fucking people love scotch and cigars. Like mine is cognac. Like you gotta get like fucking
a little Henny.
Yeah,
nice.
You gotta get Henny.
Classy, a little Shannon Sharp.
Actually, I like Remy. To be completely honest, I like Remy. I fucking Remy XL. You dip up.
It's not my favorite. I tried it.
It's not great. It's like great warm. Like I'd say, like if you warm it up and then fucking like get it like in a snifter the way you're supposed to, and then you dip the end that you're gonna chew on of your cigar, like just like a little like right in there before you cut it. It gives it like a different, like the alcohol kind of like makes your lips like purse a little bit different than you would just like dry, and it gives it like a different flavor profile. And I was like when I first learned that, I was just smoking them like regular. Then some guy was like, just do this, dude. And like I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then like the whole like you put the toothpick in it because your fingers are oily, so the oil of the thing you don't want them to commingle. It's weird, but like
toothpick's gay to me. I want to sit there and hold a bat like Tony.
No, it's like you can do that with certain ones. There's like Cohiba, you can do that. They're like they make like.
Or if you just hold the band, is that what the band's
there
for?
The band's there. You're supposed to keep the band so that you know which end to cut, but I think you cut from the adjacent end anyway, or whatever. It's stupid. The whole like.
I don't like cutting it.
The whole ritual of it is kind of gay, but like actually enjoying a cigar is nice. It's like a very pleasant experience.
Maybe we'll try it. I'll see if I can come around on it, but I don't like just taking mouth hits. Like,
no,
it feels weird.
It's not you. The other thing too is it's meant to be like slow. We're Northeasterners and everything's like I'm gonna do this till it's done, and then I'm gonna do the next thing.
Hit my vape 6 times and then go back inside.
I would go to the fucking one in New Orleans. It's it's got a big alligator on it or whatever, but it's like right on Canal. It's
I think that was my problem because I was hitting it at the pace like I would a cigarette, and my mouth would just get so dry and taste like shit.
Gets dry.
But if you take a puff every minute or something, kind of do a slow burn, it doesn't get too hot.
Yeah,
probably wasn't doing it right, but I like the idea of cigars, but
you got to go to the right environment for
it's a bad path for me to go down.
No, because you're not going to smoke. You're not going to be smoking cigars like you would darts, because like a cigar.
But you still get into like Billy Burr, Robert Kelly territory, where Burr was smoking like 1 to 2 cigars a day. Like
yeah,
Bob Kelly smokes like several cigars a day.
No, they smoke like bookies. That's why. That's like no. You got to enjoy it. It's got to be ritualistic. And like the other thing too is like it's some correlation. I don't know when it happened. I know that it's like always been a thing, but it's like really amped up since I started smoking cigars when I was like 19 or whatever. Golfing with cigars is just not fun. It's not. It like for whatever. I know both of them golf, and I know that Billy is like always out on the fucking greens.
It's doing something physical, like while you got this like
well, you got like a fucking
awkward giant thing in your mouth.
Thing that's meant to be enjoyed indoors in a controlled environment, kind of like podcasting. You know, like it's supposed to be like in a controlled environment where you can be attentive to the thing that it needs. Like if you're gonna spend like $200 on a fucking nice Cohiba, like you're gonna do the right fucking shit with it, and they're gonna cut it for you, and they're gonna temp it. Like they got torches that are certain sizes. Like you got like some that you have a skinny.
I wouldn't go torch.
That you're supposed to, like, because it's like that's what you're supposed to do.
Nah.
What are you gonna light it like a
wood
fucking
burning
chimoke?
matches and shit.
So
that was the big thing, was people would do like the bark strips or whatever.
You can do.
I'm a hemp wick guy. People say like the torch is the most clean, but from my personal experience of lighting bowls and joints with torches, it tastes more like butane than a Bic. Like
it's not like gonna fucking change the flavor too much on it. But if you're gonna notice, I was gonna say if you're gonna notice it that much like on a joint though, you'll definitely notice it in there. So yeah, match all day. Just light a candle.
Torches are popular for people who do like the bong rip videos on Instagram or whatever. They got the fucking blowtorch and but like it tastes so harsh. It tastes like worse butane than a Bic lighter. But I mean, like I could light a joint with this, and I'll notice it slightly, but it won't ruin it for me. And I've done it like in a pinch if I don't have hemp wick, like I'll just light it. But like a torch, I'm like I'll do it if I have to, but it's not.
You can light a candle though. That's like one of the things. It's not like a scented candle. Like you're not like lighting a Yankee candle to like light
a cigar with a candle.
You can light it with a candle. There's
probably do hemp wick.
Yeah, that's just it. Like it's the same. I
don't know if it gets hot enough. Don't you have to get it to a certain temp or something?
So like that's like the reason that you use a butane lighter is because it's like a consistent temperature. Is that because like an open flame like that's like real inconsistent, and you want it to burn even, so you're just doing that. But like I said, if you can taste the butane, you're someone that's like you're looking for that flavor, not in a negative way.
On a $200 cigar,
you're gonna notice something's amiss. Probably.
I'm not gonna chance it.
Yeah.
If it was a $20 acid and we're at Cigars and the guy wants to cut it and light it for me, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, fire it up. But I remember the thing. There was guys using torches, but I guess this was at the time. It was the big thing. Was like wooden matches. Like
still
all
do.
my
They-
buddies were like, "You got to do the wooden match. Like it's old school." Blah blah blah.
You
blah,
know
blah.
actually where they do that was the fucking smokers place. It's called Havana Deluxe. Shout out Havana. They're the bar I told you about in Raleigh, where if they had a sign on their television that said, "If football and hockey are on, we're watching hockey. Do not ask." And I'm like, "This is my spot," and you could smoke in there. It was like, and they sold cigars, and they were the ones. They had big strike any like the novelty, like we used to light your fireplace. That was what they'd light their cigars with. So you are onto something. They do have an accoutrement, but I do remember a lot of people like having these like scentless candles. They're just like beeswax candles with like a humongous fucking like 6 wicks and like a bunch of wax around it, and then you just light your cigar with that too. Like
It's
people,
pretty convenient.
yeah, it's whatever floats your boat, babe.
What's your go-to, like your fave, not like a luxury big occasion one, just like a daily driver type cigar, $20, $30, $40 range?
So when the last one I smoked wasn't acid, actually. I got it from Mike. Shout out Beto when he had his twins. He came down here because he wanted to smoke a cigar with his dad, and his dad passed away before COVID, and then the twins were in the hospital during COVID. So he's like, I can't do anything. Like I can't even go buy a bottle of champagne.
That's a
this
tough
hour.
time to have
It
medical
was.
shit.
It was a rough one, and so he came down here, and we smoked cigars out back here. And we got 2 acid torpedoes, which I thought were pretty good. I think his was like a maple syrup, and mine
I like
was
the shape of those.
fucking excellent.
They're cool.
Fucking excellent burn too, man. Like they burn. It's 30 minutes in and out. Like you're not. It's not like an inferior tobacco or anything, but it is like what you're getting in the same tobacco you're getting in a Philly Dutch. Just
I'm excited,
slightly.
dude.
Yeah.
Let's do some cigars next week.
Yeah, I got
Don't
it.
even tell me. Just
I got you.
I'll forget about it completely, and I'll just show up and be like, nice. I said like I hated cigars before, but there was a brief phase when I was big into rolling up backwoods. Like there was times where I couldn't smoke weed, like on vacation with my girlfriend's family or something.
Yeah.
I would find myself just smoking backwoods, like, and not inhaling every drag, but like 1 out of every 5. Give yourself a little zip, but they were enjoyable just to sit and puff on. So I think I could get behind a cigar.
I think you'd like cows, like CAO. I know it's like I love beef, dude, but no, like CAO. They're like some like
I like the idea of acids. I like the logo and the colors and the flavor, the smell, and then like I would hit my buddies and be like, "This is fucking horrible." Dude.
Tyler and I had Tyler, CJ, and fucking several of our other friends. You might have actually been in tow for this, but I used to get the tins of Flavors by Cow. They're it's like a Nicaraguan company where they make these tins of cigarillos where you get 10 of them for like $8. And I would go to fucking Cigars or wherever, the place in Stone Harbor or whatever that place used to be called, and I would get like a 10 of them, and then like one would get used for a blunt, but then you'd actually have like jail cover in case. It's like, no, I just smoke cigars. See, I got a bunch of them, and so like I would have a couple of them. But there was like one time where like me, CJ, and Tyler, like maybe like 2 other people were all in my Chevy Cobalt, and they're like, "You guys want to like try and hotbox cigars?" And we're like, "Yeah!" So we like
That's a
all
real
fucking like
good
lit
time
up,
as a teenager.
lit up fucking cigars.
Big out the garage with cigarettes.
Dude, so just like we're all hacking, like our eyes are red, and like we're just like spitting
feel
everywhere.
nauseous, yeah.
Dude, nobody was having a good time.
Overload of nicotine's never. You feel like you're dying.
I felt like it was like, dude, it's gonna be just like we're at a club in Havana. It's like, no, we're in Cobalt in
That
fucking
sucks.
Jersey. It's disgusting.
That's a tiny
We're in a
car,
parking
too.
lot at the high school.
I did that with blunts once, with my buddies Chris and Ian and like Nick. I forget who. There was like 5 of us
Nicaragua.
in a Jeep Cherokee in my driveway, and we were like, "Let's hotbox." There was this other kid named Squid.
cook.
Named Squid. That was like legit what he went by.
There's always a squid.
Yeah, all good dudes. We were all hanging out and
I'm
like
lighting this with a butane just to
I don't
piss
care.
you
It's
off.
almost done anyway. It's windy, hard to light. It's loosely rolled. I was rushing.
Russian, why not Bulgarian or something?
Fucking Ukrainian.
Belarus.
We did what you did, but we did it with like 10 blunts or something, and I don't think we finished. And like we had to get out. Like it was so like you couldn't breathe. Like I don't know. I think my buddy Chris tapped first, and then we were all like, "Thank God someone gave up," and we all like came storming out of the car, and it was that realization that like more isn't always better or whatever. Like we did that once where me and 3 other people split a ½ ounce. It was like we all had to throw in like $40 each or something, and we went to Wawa and got 14 cigarillos and then rolled 14 1-gram blunts, and we're like, we're gonna smoke all of these tonight while drinking Jaeger and Red Bull.
Nice.
And It like was such a neat idea on paper, and smoking 14 blunt wraps. We finished it. Stu tapped after like 9 and went and slept in his car, like, threw up in the driveway or something. And me, Jan, and this kid Hirsch, who owns like gas stations, fucking
Emil Hirsch.
no, he's a fucking raghead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His family owns like the Exxon Summers
More
Point.
like Hershey.
We finished it, but my throat was sore for like a week. Like that's how I got this honey gravel voice now, is that night in 2011. But it was like you said, it's like, yeah, let's fucking do this. And it's just like, you can only go so far. It's like when you get hammered and smoke a full pack of cigarettes and you just fucking, it was fun at the time, but then your throat hurts so bad. Like, I don't know.
There's that time me, you, and Aaron all went to the casino. It was that time, we talked about it on here, but you staked me for $100 and you were like, it was just because I came home. It was like the last time you had fun at the casino. I remember you were just like,
I had fun at the casino.
well, you were just like I want to go, like you were like, I want to go gamble. And I'm like, I don't have any money. And you're like, here's $100. Shut up and get in the car. So like, I got in the car with you. We went, I played poker. I doubled up playing poker, gave you your investment and some back because I'm a generous guy.
I think we split the profit, so you walked away with
like 60
50. Yeah,
$60. I was happy. I got to play poker for a couple
Me and
hours.
Aaron were sitting on the side, and I think on the second hand you were all in, and I was just like,
Here we go.
I was like, what the fuck? I didn't have money to be doing that at the time. I just literally, I wanted to go to the casino, and you were like, I can't go. I'm broke right now. And I was like, well, I got $100. Like, we're broke right now.
We're broke. And yeah,
let's go be irresponsible together.
And I remember you telling me, you were like, we got into the car as we rode over the fucking Ranger. It's like,
yeah, it's not good.
It's
I was
not
driving
ideal.
a 92 Ford Ranger that was absolutely covered in black mold.
And fucking 3 of us in there, Aaron in the middle going,
That
stop
car was fun.
driving near the edge. Stop driving near the edge.
I was treating the parking garage at Oceans like it was Homestead, Miami, or Darlington, where you have to literally get as close to the wall as you can without hitting
with
it.
the man who was
I had the
nervous around.
Darlington stripe down the Ranger by the time we got to the top floor of the garage.
But
That
yeah,
was good times.
no, we went and I just remember we get into the fucking car and you were like, I was like, that wasn't bad, boys. Like I'm pretty happy about that. You were like, as soon as I saw you go all in, I was like, those chips aren't coming back towards you. And then when they started coming back towards you, I was like, I'll be
Oh,
damned.
yeah, because I couldn't see anything. It's just
you're just like
watching from a slot machine 20 feet away, like
You think that money's gone. That money's as good as gone.
nervously ripping I wonder what the car. It was a car. I wonder what the brand was. A Dank Vape or something at the time.
Dank vape.
Fucking a TKO.
Yeah, man. The best part about the fucking like cigars, blunts, whatever. There's one time James, shout out James. James is such a nice guy. He really is like a marvelous friend. He's like a blessing.
Salt of the earth type of guy.
Salt of the earth, man. He's a fucking great dude. He when we were freshmen, as a like departing, you know, hey, this was fun. I loved living with you guys. Like gift to the dorm. Me and James went halvesies on an ounce, and he gave me my half, and then was like, "You want to kick in, you can." But I was planning on like seeing how many people like we can get in to like roll a fucking like a bunch of blunts, and I'm like, I'm down for that. So like I kicked in as much weed as needed, and we ended up like splitting the difference. Like both kicked in about like, you know, like 8 grams or something like that, and we had 16 heads. So we all smoked 1 blunt a head. But same thing. We got like about 8 puffs in a piece, and then people were just like turning green. And, like we were outside, and people were like wandering away, like laying down in a field. And we're like, we'll get them later. But like, yeah, there was like
That was back in the era where 1 blunt would go between 4 people, and now
9 people.
Yeah, now
9
everyone's
people.
like, we have our own blunt.
We all have our own blunts. Like people are like
a quarter of the way into it, you're like, well, I'm higher than I've ever been in my life.
my roommate Steve.
For the first time you faced like something you rolled,
Faced.
like fully, like it was just you.
No. But like I'm trying to think like faced like a whole blunt. I used to like I was like a pinner guy. I would like really never roll blunts until like
I was a big bowl.
Yeah,
trying
like,
to conserve, but this was
Yeah.
before I had any hardware. This
Yeah.
is the story that sticks out in my mind. I couldn't roll. I stuffed one of my Black and Milds with a gram of weed.
Oh, you champ it. I mean, that's always a good one.
Yeah, I emptied it out. Champing is when you remove that cancer
That inner
paper.
paper.
Yeah,
But no, champing it with weed is still what I call it, where you just remove the tobacco and a little bit of that.
it's blunt and mild is what we
Yeah.
used to call them.
B&Ms.
my buddy Tyler honestly got big into them. When we'd be playing roller hockey in like Ocean City at 52nd Street in high school, he'd stuff like 10 of them and literally just be smoking them like cigars. But this is Ocean City in 2012, and like cops are just buzzing by, and he's just like leaving it lit, like not giving a fuck. R.I.P. He was wild, but
I got so good at doing that though, where you could take like most of the tobacco out, so there's maybe like a third of the tobacco in at the end, and then you just like mix weed in and like take a little.
My
bit.
buddy would do that at
Yeah.
Public Works. Shout out to James, and he thought he was being like real slick, and everyone would be like, "Dude, James reeks like he's smoking weed all day," and he's
He
like,
smell like
"Yo,
worse
I'll
than
leave the tobacco in, dude. No one even knows." And they're like, "I'm like, dude, every driver knows you're smoking weed on the back of the truck. Like, it's not. Everyone talks about it. You're not." He really thought like they can't smell it. Yo, that wood tip wine, yo, it takes it over. I'm like, bro, you reek. Like, you are smoking weed right now. Like, I thought the same thing. I used to bring a bong slide that looked kind of like a one hitter. Like, it was one of those skinny, like kind of like a snapper bowl or whatever you would call it. It was like the shape of a one hitter but for a bong, and I would bring that into work in a pill bottle with like a gram of like grounded up weed, and like throughout the day I would try and find a discreet place in Ocean City to like stand behind a loader in the parking lot or something and rip this one hitter like 10 times, or I would rip it in the family bathroom at like 12th Street or 1st Street in the summertime. And I would have this pill bottle in my pocket. It was like a prescription pill bottle for like antibiotics, and I just
Not my name.
it was, but it would just have weed and this one hitter in it, and like I thought I was like
Slick.
foolproof, and everyone would be like, "Dude, the bathroom reeks. What the fuck are you doing in there?" I'm
Taking
like,
a dump.
"Yeah." And the one guy was in recovery, and I would just get back in the truck. He'd be like, "Dude, you fuck," and I'm like,
Seriously?
I was taking a shit. I was just in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, just like
getting high.
ripping the one hitter. Or at the power washing lot, like we'd be power washing trash cans in this just random empty like washout yard, they called it. It was just like behind 46th Street. It's just like a couple empty.
I know what you're talking.
Yeah.
There's like a dog park back there and shit. Yeah, it's
Like-
just a fucking.
One street down from that, yeah. There's the police shooting range is back there. It's just
Yeah.
like marshland. And there was like an old broken down loader or front end loader or whatever just parked back there. And I would go be like, I'm peeing behind it, and I would just crouch down and be like ripping the bowl, and like everyone would be staring at me, and I was just like coughing and blowing out rips. And I would come back in my head so confident, like, dude, I'm crime of the century. They have no idea.
There's
Looking back in hindsight, that's pretty retarded.
There's this fun, like, I don't know why this is funny to me, because like my boss just doesn't care. She's like, he's a good employee, he does whatever he
But you're
needs
still
to.
trying to like get away with it.
Yeah, well, it just no. It's so like way before weed was legal. Like I started working at Oceanside. We actually did the math on this. 2011 I started working there. But like the first like few years, like first like 7 years I worked there, weed was illegal, or you know, it was like less frowned upon or whatever. Like later
No,
into it, but
super illegal.
super. I mean, just like Avalon, you wouldn't get busted for smoking a joint behind the restaurant, is what I mean. Like
But it's a possibility.
not there so much, but it is a overarching possibility in general that like that could be the
I mean, just
thing.
to drive to and from work, you get pulled over.
Well, okay, so here's what I'm saying is like when I got hired at Oceanside, my boss hires me because like my friend brings me in and he's like, yeah, this is Joe, he's my buddy, like, you know, he's a good cook, he'll work here and whatnot. My boss is like, yeah, you're hired, like, you know, come in this day, we'll get you set up and you'll try out and whatnot. And then like a couple of days go by, I come in for my first shift and it like dawned on her, she's like, wait a minute, you've been here before. You showed up to like smoke weed out back with CJ. And I was like, yeah, what's going on? She's like, so like our basis of like my working relationship with my bosses, she was like, you used to come to my
Like, I would
restaurant
get
to
high with my
smoke-
main cook.
smoke fucking weed with my expo kid. But yeah, like there was like every cheeky like little like all the cute little things you used to get away with like when weed was still illegal. It's like we would do there. So like we had a company bowl. We would smoke in the walk-in sometimes. That
They
was
would when I worked at Spads, they would smoke right on the line.
Yeah, that
they
was-
had such like the hoods and stuff.
Yeah, good
But, like
hoods.
during dinner shift, like the guy had this weird little wooden, like those cheap wooden bowls, and he would
Yeah.
just be ripping that and then just right into the fucking vent. I'd be washing dishes and he would fire one up for me. I'm like 16.
Hell
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm
man.
like, I love this place.
That's
They're
a
like-
good- that's a
And
good
we'd
cook.
be doing shots. That was at the time, dishwashing there sucked, but like in hindsight, you're working with like the hottest chicks. Like all the waitresses
Yeah.
there. I'm a 16-year-old virgin. Like these chicks, they were probably 7s, but in my mind at the time, I'm like, I'm around
Probably 2s.
I'm around babes all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
almost
I'm rolling in the
almost
pussy.
parlayed that into getting laid until the cooks told the one that I was a virgin, and she was like, "Fuck that." But anyway, she let me and Jan feel her up at the end of the season party. That was in tandem, and that was not the first time that I felt a chick up in tandem. That was pretty cool.
No, that's the best.
Shout out to Tara. She was a good egg.
Dude, there's always a good one. There's a good egg. There's this girl.
I was infatuated with her when I was 17.
No, we can get back right on this. One of the best feel ups I ever had was I got drunk, and my friend Jess just had a boob job done, and it was my birthday, and I was like in the back of an Uber, drunk, like blackout drunk.
Let me check 'em out.
Rambling about something, and she's like, "Joe, just shut up." And I'm like, "Only if you let me touch your tits." And she's like, "Oh, if that'll get you to shut up, yeah." Like, it took both my hands. It was like, "Here, feel right here where it's like it's all set." Like, I groped this chick for like 15 minutes to stop babbling in the back of an Uber. Anyway, sorry, continue.
The other one, we were like freshmen or something. It was some shooby chicks, and like there was 3 of us and 3 of them, and like we're trying to make moves. But there was only one slutty one who was down to do anything, so she just went under the music pier and like took her shirt off, and like me and my 2 buddies just all felled her up at the same time, and that was like a big flex. Like we went back up and saw the boys, some of the other like
I saw tits today,
some of the other guys from school on the boardwalk, and we're like,
Smell these hands, fellas. They smell like tits.
they smell like fat chicks, under boob sweat. She wasn't fat, but
In my head, she was.
and she gave the one kid what for on social media like years later, and
She
then
Me-too'd him?
I chimed in and I just nuked
Nice,
her. I was
nice.
like, yeah, that's why you let us all feel you up under the music pier in 2008. And it was just like boom, like just
Oh.
absolutely, yeah.
It's like when you know
She deserved it. Like she was being a bitch to my friend for no reason, and I was just like, you don't have a leg to stand on, sweetheart. You're a whore.
yeah, that's all.
You're
That's
real
all.
loose. You let 3 boys touch your boobs, dude. You're fucking-
There's
I
always
wonder what
like,
she's up to now.
there's always one where you're just
So I got
like
a couple black kids.
no it.
I forget her name. I know her first name was Jenna, but I don't remember her last name. I would love to look her up live right now and just be like, wonder what she's up to.
Exactly what you're talking. Probably complaining that EBT is no longer going to be supporting.
She's a
fucking
shooby
Marshalls.
chick, though. It might have been from money. She had like a shore house or something.
Maybe they rent shore houses.
Yeah,
But
true.
that's-
Could have been a
well,
real Philly scumbag.
Yeah, like so, but like the fun one is like there's always a chick that's like harping on like something, you know, like, hey, you know, this is my Me Too moment. And I try to dodge it. There's always fucking one where you're like, I know for a fact you like no, like this no.
Both of those situations, the chick fully initiated it. Me and
Yeah.
the guys were like, I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
Like we're all just like, is she really taking her fucking shirt off right now? Like, all at the same time in unison. We all like, it was like a movie. All of our hands were side by side, like looking at each other.
like it's the Holy Grail.
Yeah, it was like glowing.
There's there's this
I probably
party.
jerked off for like a month about that. Dude.
There's a party I was at when I was maybe like, I don't know, like 23 or 24 or something. It was a college I was not attending's party. It was around here. It was a Stockton party. I don't know why I'm dancing around it. But it was like, it wasn't at like a Stockton, like the same exact situation we described where it's like just some house where like 7 dudes live.
Probably the house that I was at.
Might have been some chick just got naked in the middle of the fucking party and was like, I can do a party trick, and started smoking a fucking cigarette with her pussy. And
Damn.
yeah.
You should have married her.
No, that's not the first time I've seen that either. I didn't see this one in person.
How did they
but
inhale?
You just fucking
They just
kegel.
do like diaphragm.
Yeah, just kegel.
And
like,
it actually like
oh yeah, she smoked it. Like that's not the first time I've fucking seen that as a party trick either.
she smoked it, like she got a nicotine buzz and everything, or like it just
So-
puffs.
It like puffs, but like so there was a party that they have what
That's aggressive.
They have what's called Rush Week at college when you want to like rush a frat. And a bunch of my friends went to a rush party where one of them was rushing the frat, but they were like, they're always trying to get like extra kids. in.
Picturing the band.
Yeah.
Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
Or Rush Limbaugh. My mind was going all over the place. Rush Limbaugh week. It's just a fat guy on Vicodin giving political speeches.
It's rush hour. You're just trying to join Jackie Chan's frat. Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I listened to a lot of Rush Limbaugh as a kid. Sorry. I can still hear the hum of the AM transmitter. or
I
whatever.
enjoy some Rush Limbaugh, but anyway, the Rush Week, the way that they get you is that they try to get you to get as many of your boys as they come, so it looks like you're you got the most happening frat. And the way of doing that is they'll like get kegs, strippers, and the whole 9 yards. And my friend Hunter had a video on his flip phone. He was like, dude, I don't even go to this college. And they brought me to Rush Week at this fucking one frat. And he showed me a video of a chick that was on a kitchen table in front of, I'm not even kidding, it was a sea of people, maybe like 50, 60 people, just on all fours.
Wonder where she's at now.
All fours, smoking a cigarette with her fucking cooch. And then people started throwing ping pong balls at her. And she grabbed one out of the air, threw it in there, shot it, and then took
Was
another
she a
drag
stripper?
off.
That's a pro move.
Yeah, she was like an adult entertainer.
Okay.
Was like this was she was.
I thought this was just like
No, this was not a random
daddy's
slut.
little girl went off to college and now she's firing off fucking pong balls at her snooch.
The Stockton chick, that was absolutely just some fucking whore. Like,
She's a good egg.
I don't know about that. She's probably ruining some fucking like financial advisor's life right now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's my type.
oh no.
Just dumpster fires.